You guys need to go outside? You do, don't you? So you can go out there and wrestle. Excuse me. Ready? Okay, get him. Get him, boy. Alright, so as I said yesterday, we had the Pistons rods pressed onto the Pistons, so those are all good. Last night I sat down and started putting the piston rings on all the Pistons. Before you oil them down, before you put them in, before you put them in, you want to oil them down. That way you know for sure that they're ready to go. And I'm just going to use a standard oil. You can use your break-in oil. You probably want to stay away from your assembly lube. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at. One thing to pay attention to is as you're installing them into the block, there is a bevel on both sides of the piston. One side is bigger than the other. That's the side that faces the front of the crankshaft. So basically the crankshaft's got this little curve in it, and this fits into that little curve just snugly. Also make sure that your dot is pointed towards the front of the engine. Make sure before you put everything together that you clock your rings. I do mine across from each other, the gaps. So you got two gaps, one here and then one on the other side, and they just happen to be opposite of each other right now. And then put a liberal amount of oil on the piston skirts and sides and rings and everything. That way you've got it nicely coated before you drop it down in. Before we do that, of course, I've got to go ahead and put in my bearings. They are standard bearings because it is a brand new crank and brand new rod, so that makes life simple. I've already mic'd them all there. Everything's right within tolerance as it should be. So all I have to do now is put the bearings in them and then start installing them. Not going to bore you with long details of everything, but like your bearings come in a little box and they got a little spacer between them so they don't rub. And there you go, there's your bearings. Pretty simple to install. Undo your caps, both sides, of course, just like normal. Again, assembly lube on your bearings and on your crank before you put it together, and that way you don't have to worry about any marring. But like I said, I'm not going to have you sit here and watch me put 8 bearings and 8 pistons. I'll bring you back when I'm getting ready to oil them and put them into the cylinder bores. Got my trusted oil right here. My break-in oil is on its way. It won't be here for another week, but got it through Amazon, and it was 20 bucks cheaper than everybody else for name brand oil. So once again, saved a couple bucks there. I think they wanted $12.99 a quart at the local auto parts store, and you need 5 quarts, at least in this particular motor. I think it's 6 quarts. So that's definitely a way you can save some money. Just make sure that it does have the proper additives and everything for your break-in on your motor. And I'll bring you back as soon as I'm ready to go.